Hello viewers, welcome once again to my channel on Cat Africa Live, a channel that brings you insight of African politics, and I'm always your guy, De-Graft Amoako. This moment, I won't talk much. I want us to watch this video, and after the video, I will give my comment. So let's watch this video. I will be back.
We equally reject attempts to prescribe new rights that are contrary to our values, norms, traditions, and beliefs. We are not gays. Cooperation and respect for each other will advance the cause of human rights worldwide. Confrontation, vilification, and double standards will not. Mr. President, self-determination and independence are intrinsic and fundamental rights that should be enjoyed by all peoples everywhere without distinction. We are deeply concerned by the continued denial of this basic right to the Sahrawi people. We urge the United Nations to expeditiously finalize what must be done to conclude the decolonization of the Western Sahara.
Okay, so that was the late Robert Mugabe, ex-president of Zimbabwe, the former president of Zimbabwe. So how should I start? This year I've realized the discussion of LGBTQ plus movement or community has been heating up in Africa. And I think it started when early this year, US President Kamala Harris came to Africa, and people suspected she came because she wanted to come and push the LGBTQ agenda. And after that, Uganda president followed it up with the passing of anti-LGBT bill, which it has generated a lot of discussions. And I don't know if it's only me, but I've realized it's like every 10 years, this LGBTQ plus discussion comes. I don't know if it is based on regime change in US, because it's like every 10 to 8 years that discussion will come, and I realized it is more like a regime change when some political party comes to power. They push that agenda to Africa, because I never had this particular discussion when Trump was in power. So I will believe it's more like a regime change. So it's like every 10 years they come and test waters in Africa. When some particular regime comes to power, they come and test waters in Africa. But let me be frank, this LGBT bill rights thing we have been discussing is going to be tough to accept in Africa. It's going to be tough. I don't know what may come up, but if we are going to go by culture, and when we are talking of culture, we are not going deep. I'm not going deep. I'm just going to I'm going to brush the surface. If you are going to go deep, it's going to be generate a lot of. I'm just going to brush the surface. When we talk of culture, we are not going to go more deep. Now, let me give you a perfect example. You and me believes the way Africans raise their kids are not the same way Western countries raise their kids. Africans, when you are born, you are you are a reflection of your parents. You are the reflection of your parents. So your parents make sure that they are going to guide you in a manner where you grown up and you become like them. So if you have realized, if an African parent are very educated, they are doctor, they make sure their kids follow the same footpath. African parents will decide what profession you will choose in future. If they tells you they want you to become a doctor, you become a doctor. If they tells you they want you to become a lawyer, you become a lawyer. That is the cultural part I'm talking about. So we Africans, we normally try to guide our kids to become our reflection. That's how it works in Africa. But in the other hand, Western culture, I've realized your kids are you just give them right to choose whatever they want to do. You don't even punish them when they fault. You don't touch them because the system don't allow it. So with this kind of system, it makes the kids decide whatever they want to choose. So they can come home and say, Mommy, me now I want to be a transgender. I'm a female, but I want to be a transgender male. And there will be nothing because the systems allows it to be like that. Here, the system will allow, but your parent won't allow it. That's how it works. That's the cultural part. We are not raised that way. We are not raised that way. You imagine an African kid going home and saying, Mommy, I want to be a transgender male, or you are going to see your smoothness level. That's not how it works in Africa. You don't decide. You don't decide what you have become. If you were born a boy, you become a boy. Going to your parent to tell them you want to no, that won't happen in Africa. You can't even when your parent tells you they want you to become a lawyer and you try to not to listen to them, wahala for you. They will skin you alive. So that is the cultural part I'm talking about, and that is our culture. Yes, at the end of the day, you say, forcing a kid to become the reflection of the parent will, how should I put it, will make the kids not to be happy in future. Or maybe let's say the kid want to become a musician, and you forced him to become a musician, and you forced him to become a doctor. So that means the kid is not going to be happy because you didn't allow him to choose his passion. Yeah, some happens. You don't allow them to choose their passion, and later they become depressed and all that stuff. But we will choose that one rather than a kid becoming a mass shooter, and because you have allowed him to do whatever he wants, and later he becomes a mass shooter and starts shooting schools. So every decisions or cultural decisions we make, sometimes it has effect. But what we are trying to tell you is, let us have our culture. Let us control our own culture. You cannot impose your culture onto us, because if right now, let's say Ghana pass a gay right bill so that gay people become freely and do it will conflict with how we are raised. It will be a whole lot of confliction because that's not how we are raised. Yeah, we have LGBT communities in Ghana, which they are freely moving around. No one cares because it's their private life. But to say we should accept it and put it in our laws, that's your culture. That's not our culture. Yes, that stuff we have to be frank about it. That's your culture. That's not our culture. You get it? The real African culture, if we try to impose it on you, you are not going to accept it, which is polygamy. If you are going to say that, okay, we practice polygamy in Africa, so you should also try and accept our culture, you are going to say no. So I think you should leave us for us to also decide what we do with our culture. For now, let's see what happens. Because as it stands, if we are going by our culture, it won't fit in, because we have to allow kids to decide what they want. We have to allow people who are not consent yet to choose the agenda. No, hey, that's not African. It won't happen. It won't happen. Even a grown-ass man, sometimes you can't even choose your own, you can't even control your own destiny. Your parents will control it for you. So here, that's not how it works. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And it's about time they put it to rest. They have to put it to rest, because it's not going to succeed in Africa. They will push it, and Africa is also going to push it back, and it's going to be a very difficult situation. So for now, they have to leave it. They have to leave it and let every country enjoy his own culture, how he deemed fit. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I will upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.